as Tim Thomas opens up on Dirk Nowitzki. Nowitzki takes it inside, rebounded by Marion.
That's what I think we're going to see from Nowitzki tonight. He didn't settle for that fadeaway jump shot, took the ball right to the rim.
Here's Diaw. Looked like Howard got a piece of it. Devin Harris has been quiet in this series. Jason Terry looking to relocate the touch, but they're trying to get Nowitzki off early. Nowitzki remaining in the backcourt as he hit the deck, and Nash sets up against Terry. Diaw with the pick. Well played by Harris, and here is Diaw. Run down by Howard.
I think one thing to watch here with Dallas is how close Nowitzki catches that ball to the basket. Josh Howard with a little pull-up jump shot. I thought Nowitzki floated a little bit the other night. We've already seen him twice get the ball much closer to the basket, although he did miss the shots.
Marion played here at the start by Nowitzki. Nash had it put away by Howard. Nowitzki. Met by Thomas again with help. Diaw hedging over. Now here's Terry. And slapped out of bounds by Jop.
Steve, do you think that Jop is in the starting lineup to try to maybe slow Diaw here early in the first quarter?
Well, I think part of it, Doug, was that Keith Van Horn was really ineffective the last couple of games. Avery Johnson was looking for more offensive production, didn't get it. Harris picks up the foul on Nash. And with Van Horn struggling, I think Avery figured might as well go with our best defensive lineup.
And Van Horn, who missed several weeks as we see Nash go to the line, out with that broken right thumb, actually might be more effective coming off the bench. In fact, when he first returned against San Antonio, remember the barrage of three-pointers that he hit.
And hit three big ones in that Game 7. But, you can see he's still not right. I mean, it always takes at least a couple weeks to come back from an injury that keeps you out for that long. But Jop has been a guy who's been very effective in slowing this team down. That's why he's out there to start tonight.
Oh, the steal by Marion. Bad pass on the inbounds thrown by Howard. Here's Bell. Harris with the rebound. Terry to the crossover. Sets it up for Howard. Nash on the run. He has Marion ahead of the field.
Long corner jump shots, long rebounds mean fast breaks. When you get that shot out of the corner, you better get guys back down the floor.
Phoenix with a 4-2 lead. We're just underway. Howard trying to go glass. Kept alive, though, by Jop. Rebounded by Thomas, and he's fouled. How about Dallas opening up 1 of 7 from the field? That foul committed by Josh Howard.
Well, Doug, here's the corner jump shot you talked about. And when you see this, you see Devin Harris is the only guy back because Jason Terry penetrated your other guard. He's underneath the rim. And with Sean Marion running the lane, you have no chance to slow down that fast break.
Marion called for the traveling violation. Sean with a burst to his left, attempting to beat Nowitzki off the dribble and called for steps.
And Mike D'Antoni, a little whisper in the ear of Jackie Neese. If you're going to call that against Sean Marion, make sure you call it against Dirk, because he said he does the same thing.
You sound as if you're talking from experience along the sideline.
Just get a little in there, Marvin, and get out.
Terry with a rainbow. And Avery Johnson hoping that's a good sign that it gets Jason Terry on a roll.
I think his struggles have really hurt Dallas because Phoenix has been playing kind of a roaming zone against Dallas. Harris is going to be called for the foul. That's 2 on Devin Harris. But when Terry makes shots for the Mavericks, it opens things up. They can isolate Nowitzki and Howard and Stackhouse at that free throw line. You can't help as much. I thought the last couple of games the Suns were really packed into that lane.
Well, it really magnifies also, too, if Devin Harris, if they're not going to guard him, so Steve Nash is roaming, Jason Terry's not shooting well, so you have all these guys loading up on Nowitzki and Howard, so that's why everybody plays such a pivotal role comes on the backside of him. Looks like he gets him across the right forearm. I think that was a good call. And now Jerry Stackhouse, with his experience in the game probably sooner than he expected tonight.
Suns with a 6-4 lead. Dallas with a backcourt now, Terry and Stackhouse with Nowitzki, Jupp, and Howard on the front line. Nowitzki following the clear out, and he was pushed.
Looked like he rolled his ankle a little bit too on that play, Marv.
He stepped out.
Looked like he rolled his left ankle on that play.
On the turnover, the ball back to Phoenix. Here's Marion for three. Rebounded by Diaw. Nash looking for the pick. Set by Diaw. Nash from downtown. And Howard rebounds. Both clubs struggling here at the start. Nowitzki again to the rim. So for Nowitzki, his first bucket. Marion, Phoenix getting it down court within 3 seconds. And the foul is called on Marion. Loose ball foul.
So how about Dirk Nowitzki now? 3 shot attempts and a 4th if he hadn't been called for that walk, all at the rim. So you know Avery Johnson got through to him after that game 4. Don't revert to the old Dirk. Be the present Dirk, the one that has dominated these playoffs.
Terry gets inside. Terry with the rebound. And last touch by Phoenix.
I think one of the things about this matchup with the Suns is that Tim Thomas has done a pretty good job on Nowitzki. If they're going to play him down low on the block, Thomas has more girth, more strength to deal with that physical presence of Nowitzki, more so than Marion.
Terry shooting only 39% in this series at several big games against the San Antonio Spurs. Shot clock down to 6. Stackhouse gives it up. Nowitzki for 3. Yes. Dirk Nowitzki hit 2 from downtown back in game 3. Marion open for 3. And he comes right back from downtown.
What's interesting about Phoenix, all year long, the bigger the game, the better they've shot. Tonight, that's not the case. They've gotten off to a slow start.
Whoa, Jupp surprised with that pass, but able to recover. Here's Howard for the 3. So we have seen 3 consecutive shots from beyond that three-point line.
I think each team maybe loosening up a little bit now. There's a lot of frenetic energy to start, but now both teams settling in.
That pass broken up. Terry leads the 3-on-2. Stackhouse for 3. And here come the Suns. Mavericks get back. Nash, beautiful move. Rejected by Jupp. So now Jupp back in the starting lineup, swiping that aside. Nowitzki for 3. Dallas with a 15-9 lead. And as Nash makes his move, Jack Neese with the call, pushing foul on Terry.
Well, the pace of this game is so frenetic right now, and I think Phoenix likes to play like that. Right now, Dallas has hit some nice shots, but Sagana Diop in there to block shots and defend the rim, does a nice job there. Dirk already 2 threes in the game, Steve. You talked about him attacking the rim. He's done that. He's hit the threes. He's off to a great start, and the Mavs love it.
Would not be playing. However, the next series, if Dallas were to play Miami, he would be counted on heavily for his 6 fouls against Shaq.
All right, thank you, Craig. Just under 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Leandro Barbosa, who had a terrific game the other night, has come on for the first time. Shot clock down to 2. Here's Marion. Did not make contact with the rim. Shot clock violation.
Boy, Dallas looks so much more alert tonight and active. Avery Johnson said before the game, I'm interested to see how we respond. You get the sense that Avery really let his team have it yesterday and challenged them. And so far, they are responding.
And Dirk Nowitzki has responded here at the start. 8 points, over the last minute and 55. Nowitzki comes up short, but he'll head to the line. Foul on Dion, that's his first. Let's check in with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Marvel. Out of that last timeout, Coach Avery Johnson was telling his team, defensively, we have to do a much better job on Steve Nash, especially on the elbows and pick-and-roll situations. He also said, guys, I want you to stay aggressive defensively, but stop the careless fouls, guys.
Well, to this point, Mavericks have been aggressive. And Phoenix just 2 of 10 from the field.
You know, I think it's interesting with Avery Johnson. We talked to him before the game, and I said, Avery, when can you get the mood of your team? When do you get the focus and the feel? And he said, usually it's shoot around. And he said, the other day in Phoenix, we were a little lighthearted, and we didn't come out and play. He said, today I saw a real focus. And Steve, you've been in those situations with championship teams. Shoot around sometimes set the tone for your whole team.
Absolutely, depending on the nature of your team, but this is one that responds better when they're quiet.
Boris Diaw with the bucket and the foul. Strong move to the rim by Diaw. Jop called for his first.
I think this team is the one that Mike D'Antoni really likes on the perimeter. Boris Diaw with the up fake, and he takes that quickness, and I like it again. He's using a dunk rather than flipping that ball at the basket. We saw 2 powerful finishes in Game 4 for with Bell, Nash, and Barbosa on the perimeter. That's a very lethal combination out there for the Suns.
Mavericks up by 5. Barbosa flex it out of bounds as they look to go to the trap. 14 on the clock for the Mavericks. That three-point play by Diaw stopped a 13-3 Dallas run. 10 of the 13 points by Dirk Nowitzki, who has turned it right here at the start. Jop gets inside. So not a Jop, who has been a huge factor in this series, primarily coming off the bench. But as we touched on earlier, back in the starting lineup. Diaw lost the handle, able to recover. Nowitzki with the rebound. Barbosa gambled, going for the steal. Now Nowitzki. Jump with the tip and the foul.
You know, it's interesting, Doug. You talked about this being Mike D'Antoni's favorite lineup. It's a very small lineup, but Avery Johnson has decided to stay with Sagana Diop, and he's taken advantage of that length and that size. Take a look at the offensive board. Raja Bell with a little push, and this is the problem if you're Phoenix. Can you rebound the ball with this little lineup out here? And Diop having his way.
In the last possession, out of the double team, Jerry Stackhouse found him right underneath the basket. Jop put himself right underneath the basket, and Stackhouse made a nice pass. So 5 points, just being in the right spot and hustling.
And remember, several games back, Mike D'Antoni telling us we're doing something wrong if Avery Johnson is able to leave either Jop or Dampier out on the floor. Barbosa, who had a terrific game in Game 4. Here's James Jones, who just came on. Shot clock down to 2. Barbosa fires one off the mark. Another 24-second violation, and Phoenix is having difficulty locating shots.
Well, it's an interesting matchup. Normally, Josh Howard would play Sean Marion. They have Stackhouse playing Marion, and Josh Howard using his length and quickness to bother Barbosa.
Standing ovation for the Mavericks. Phoenix just 3 of 13, and they've turned it over 5 times. Terry. And Ken Maurer takes a long look, as does Jack Neese. They say last touch by Jop.
Right, how important is Josh Howard to this team? He's there, Sean Marion. He guards anybody they want.
Mavericks up by 10. Just under 4 to go in this first quarter. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, and Steve Kerr from American Airlines Center, Dallas, Texas. Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. Nash had the dribble cut off. Blocked from behind as Diaw could not get the shot off. It's another 24-second violation.
Is that their third tonight already?
Yes.
I don't know they do that in a week.
A month.
A very pensive Mike D'Antoni, thinking things over here with just under 4 remaining in the first quarter. It's all Dallas at the start. Stackhouse trying to add to it. Jop with the rebound. And they can reset. Nowitzki to Stackhouse. He blew the layup. Jop kept it alive, but a loose ball foul is called. Jop came over the back.
You know, you look at the score, it's 22-12. The Mavericks are only shooting 38%, but they have 7 more shots at the basket. You've got shot clock violations, you've had turnovers. Phoenix has got to settle themselves down. Marv, in Game 3, when the Mavericks won and shot 41%, they did it because they had 19 offensive rebounds, only turned the ball over 6 times, and had 13 more shots. So if you get more shots, you can shoot a lower percentage.
Dallas over the foul limit, so that foul on Jop puts Diaw at the line. A second foul on Jop, bringing on Adrian Griffin. One of the bright spots and a long night for the Mavericks in Phoenix in Game 4. Griffin has been seeing spot duty after starting 45 games in the regular season, but came on, played 18 minutes, 6 of 8, 13 points. Here's Keith Van Horn making his first appearance.
How about 6 Phoenix turnovers already? They had 7 miscues the entire Game 4. So give the credit to the Dallas defense. 3 of those turnovers, the shot clock violations, they're active. They're all over the place. They're versatile. They're switching defensively. They're getting it done tonight.
Ball in the hands of Griffin. Stackhouse, played by Barbosa. His pass broken up. And Barbosa on it. He was fouled. He was cut off by Stackhouse. And with the Mavs in the penalty, Suns again will head to the foul line. 7, and as we resume, Leandro Barbosa with 2 shots. He had that breakout game on Tuesday. Much more comfortable coming off the bench. Hit 10 of 13. Game high 24 points. Hit 8 of his first 9 shots. He had 4 from three-point range. He had started a couple of games in the absence of the injured Raja Bell, but he struggled. Had games of 1 of 7, 3 of 15.
Well, one of the things that happens when you come off the bench, you're not playing against starters. You're playing against guys who are probably a little bit weaker defensively. Barbosa had grown very comfortable coming off that Phoenix bench, and we talked about it earlier, Doug. When you can stay in your comfort zone, it's a lot easier to be successful.
So despite the fact that Dallas has overwhelmed Phoenix here in the early moments, it is only a 6-point lead. Nowitzki backing Marion. Nice spin, and he's stuffed. And the foul. Foul on Diaw, that's his second.
Well, you know Dirk wants to spin, so he gets the body on him, feels it, and then rolls to the post. And again, look how close he's catching that basketball tonight. Rather than floating around on that perimeter, the powerful finish. The Suns, no shot blocking around the rim. Dirk knows that, getting to the basket. And I think Dirk got the email or the page or the BlackBerry, whatever he got sent here over the last, I don't know all the different kinds of communication, but what Avery can send him, he's got the message.
I think you read it on Cuban's blog, perhaps.
I think it was a handwritten note. Tim Thomas is checked back in. Eddie House has come on. Steve Nash getting a rest. 3-point play for Nowitzki. So he's 4 of 7 from the field, 3 for 3 at the line. He has 13. 25-16 Dallas. Bad pass. Carries to the backcourt. And the ball will go back to the Mavericks.
This is where you worry about Phoenix when Steve Nash goes to the bench. The half-court game, the precision, the passing, it's not quite there. And these last couple of minutes are going to be very important for Mike D'Antoni's squad. They need Eddie House to make a couple of shots, Tim Thomas to get going.
Turnover number 7 for the Suns. They have only 3 field goals as we come up on 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Stackhouse, yes.
Well, one of the things for Phoenix as well is Diaw's not out there. So Diaw and Nash, something they don't want to do. Neither guy on the floor right now. Let's see how they weather the storm.
Oh, Barbosa showing his speed, got the step on Stackhouse.
Well, with Josh Howard out of the game, now Stackhouse has to go back to Barbosa. That's a tough matchup for him. Actually, tough matchup for both guys. Look for Dallas to try to go inside to Stackhouse with Barbosa guarding him.
Nowitzki feeling for Marion. Shot clock Down to 6, defensive 3-second violation against Phoenix.
Well, you can see they know they've got to go get Dirk on the double team, and James Jones was dancing around in the lane. You either have to be within arm's reach and touch an opposing player, or the terminology is you got to cleanse yourself. You got to get out of the lane and then get back in. He never did that, and he got called for the illegal defensive there, the defensive 3 seconds.
I think what James Jones is arguing is that there was a cutter that ran right past him just before he was called for that 3 seconds. Technically, he was probably within an arm's length of that cutter, but he had been standing there for a while.
Shot clock 14 seconds.
Shot clock set to 14, a minute and a half left in this first quarter. Terry coming off the pick. Jason Terry showing signs after having problems with the shot. That's his second field goal. He has 4. 29-18 Dallas. Here's Jones giving it up. Barbosa had a foot on the line. That was a 2-point attempt. Rebounded by Griffin. Here's Terry for 3. Jason Terry has that stroke back, and he's given Dallas a 14-point advantage. Thomas to the rim, and the foul. Tim Thomas, who comes off a very quiet game at the offensive end, passed on the long-range shot, and you see the clear path, and he'll go to the line. The foul on Griffin.
You can sort of see the chess match here when Tim Thomas is out on the floor with Marion on the front line. They come in with Van Horn. I think Van Horn, they feel, is a better matchup with Tim Thomas. And when Diaw's on the floor, they like to have Jop out there. So you can start seeing, after you've played a few games in a series, where you think you might have some advantages or disadvantages.
3-point play completed by Thomas. 32-21 Mavericks. Stackhouse, yes. And the Mavericks have hit their last 5 shots. They lead by 13. Marion, as the Suns waste no time getting back down court.
Beautiful feed from Eddie House, who normally comes down and just pulls up to shoot. Not really a playmaker. He makes a terrific one there.
3-second differential between the game clock and shot clock as Terry works it down against House. Shot clock down to 3. Nowitzki with the off-balance shot. Rebounded by Stackhouse, and he scores with 2 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Barbosa. Slow down. Can't get the shot off. Time has run out.
Chance points, so they're pounding them inside, and they've done a great job defensively.
Boris Diaw is back. House and Barbosa in the backcourt. Here's House firing one up from downtown. Rebounded by Van Horn. Evan Harris returning, playing with 2 fouls. Griffin. Van Horn. Harris at the baseline closed. Got it to Griffin. And here's Barbosa with Nowitzki back. Barbosa goes right at him. Rebounded by Diaw. Looks to put it up. Knocked out of his hands. Saved by Nowitzki. 13-point Dallas lead. A Dallas team that won 60 games in the regular season, equaling the best record in the history of this franchise. They finished second in the West behind San Antonio. Van Horn. And in the playoffs, they swept Memphis, beat the defending NBA champion Spurs in 7. And they're tied in this series, the Western Conference Final at 2 apiece. Diaw, kind of a slow-motion move. Dallas looking for the traveling violation, but the basket counts and a foul.
It's almost a little international extra half step. Watch this. He takes a long stride, picks up his dribble. 1, 2, long stride there, and he lays the ball in the basket. But sort of an unorthodox move, to say the least.
It's the old Vlade Divac's Euro 2-step.
There you go.
He made a living off that play.
Foul committed by Van Horn. Sagana Jop checking back in. Dirk Nowitzki will sit down. Sagana Jop was a first-round pick of the Cavaliers. Oh, an air ball thrown up by Diaw. Perhaps it grazed the rim. But Jupp, the 8th overall pick back in 2001, spent 4 years with the Cavs for the most part on the bench. Here's Stackhouse trying to draw the foul. And back comes House around Stackhouse. Bell. It was a three-point attempt, rebounded by Diaw. And they can reset. Thomas wasting no time, fires the three.
Oh, you know Phoenix is capable of doing that. That's why after all this, they're only down 8. So Phoenix just has to weather this early storm and then try to get back to their game because they have not looked themselves so far.
We are 2 minutes into the second quarter. Dallas is led by as many as 11. Here's Howard. Josh Howard has 7 points. Barbosa on the run. Blazing speed by Leandro Barbosa going right at Devin Harris, who did not want to pick up a third foul.
You got to get up the floor and try to meet him a little bit rather than to backpedal. You cannot backpedal against that kind of quickness and speed.
A little easier said than done, though, huh?
But, Steve, it's easier to get up and try to slow a guy down. Once he gets that head of steam up, you can't stop him.
Foul on House, a non-shooting affair.
Josh Howard takes the long jump shot, and you got to turn and see that basketball immediately. And here comes Barbosa right back at you, and all of a sudden Howard turns around and he's already laying the ball in the basket.
He was truly the Brazilian blur. Harris's pass off the mark, recovered though by Howard. Shot clock down to 3. Here's Howard, has to force it. Offensive foul. So the Suns get it back. That's 2 on Howard.
Oh, this is a big play because Diaw has 2 fouls already, so he could have picked this up, but he holds his ground, and absolutely great call by Danny Crawford. That left arm, he uses it to shield Diaw. It's an automatic call.
Steve Nash is back. Nash and Barbosa now at the guards. Bell with Thomas and Diaw up front. And the foul is called as Nash made his move. Took a shot from Harris, so that's 3 on Harris.
One of the things I'm interested in watching tonight is Raja Bell. He's 0 of 2 tonight. Doesn't look like he's quite as active as he was in that return game. So often when you come back from an injury, that first one, you're filled with adrenaline. And next time back, maybe not quite as much energy, and you're a little sore from the first outing.
Well, we saw that with Amari Stoudemire. His first game out, he had like 19, and then nothing the next 2, and then shut it down the rest of the way.
Diaw rims out. Jason Terry returning, replacing the foul-plagued Devin Harris. Howard, casual dribble that was knocked away by Diaw. And a pointer against the Clippers, then he gets hurt. He comes back in Willis Reed type style, and D'Antoni's words as Terry goes off the mark, kept alive though on a back tap. He said all that's next will be a half-court shot as Howard able to put it down for a 10-point Maverick lead. D'Antoni referring to the Jerry West shot back in the 70 final against the Knicks. There's Diaw. And Morris showing us that little jump hook.
I liked D'Antoni's other quote about Raja Bell. He said, Warriors just heal quicker. And Raja Bell is a warrior. Most guys would not be out on the floor right now.
4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Shot clock to 2. Stackhouse. And Jupp able to reach for it. That's his 5th rebound. Ghana Jupp is playing despite a broken nose. Game 1 of the series, he had the protective mask on and threw it aside. He said he was uncomfortable. Foul on Barbosa. And Jupp has made his presence felt, particularly at the defensive end.
Well, you can see the effect of offensive rebounding against the Suns. When you can get multiple shots, you keep them on the defensive end, and you make them keep working, and you hope that over time that will take its toll. Tonight, Jop, you talked about it, Marv. He has 4 offensive rebounds already, giving the team a lot of extra possessions.
Nice pass from Nowitzki, and Howard able to score. Where Dirk Nowitzki's game has expanded is in the assist column. That's his 2nd. of the game. He's averaged about 5 per game during the playoffs. Reach-in foul on Terry. 13 foul called on Dallas.
We saw this adjustment in the Suns in Game 4 where they started setting those screens on the sideline a little bit, and you can see Nash, he does his two-man game over there with Thomas, trying to work that sideline because that's exactly where the Mavericks are trying to force him, so that's where they're doing their offense.
Thomas, difficult angle shot, handled by Howard. Howard to the crossover, and Howard stops. And one.
I remember him going down in Game 1 early, not realizing how much he was going to be able to play. Played only 6 minutes of that game. The Suns win it. He comes back in great fashion. That little crossover dribble on the baseline. This guy's game has expanded. Early he was a rebounder, defender. Now all of a sudden his offensive game is growing by leaps and bounds.
Howard defending on Bell. Dial played by Griffin. Ball knocked aside. Terry with Howard. Terry fouled by Thomas. And the crowd wants a flagrant.
And Jason Terry did the smart thing. He fell down. Tim Thomas was trying to hold him up. And I think he thinks if he goes down, he might get the benefit of this. What's Jason Terry now? He's trying to hold him up and look at him. He falls down like he's trying to draw attention. So that was a harder foul than maybe it was.
So 2 shots for Terry. National television coverage of the NBA playoffs continues this week. Tomorrow on ESPN, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Pistons and the Heat. Coverage starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday here on TNT, Game 6 of the Mavericks and Suns Western Conference Final Series. Coverage beginning 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And then Sunday on ABC, if necessary, Game 7 of the Heat and the Pistons. Steve Nash gets inside. For Nash, his first field goal. Tomorrow night in Miami, a win for the Heat, and they're in the NBA Finals for the first time in the history of the franchise. A win for the Pistons, and they return to the Palace for Game 7. Nowitzki was pushed. Foul on Thomas. Detroit getting back to its swarming defensive play. They came out aggressively last night, so they stay alive.
How about the highs and lows in a series, though? You know, Miami's up 3-1. Detroit wins last night, and now it's Detroit's in the driver's seat again. We're seeing the old Detroit. We've seen it in this series. The Suns win Game 1, and it's like, well, the Mavericks are in trouble. And they win the next 2, and they've got the Suns figured out. And then Phoenix wins Game 4, and it's what's wrong with Dirk Nowitzki. It's like the highs and lows. That's why you've got to look at it. It's a 7-game series. Whoever wins, you're going to win the 4 games, but the emotional roller coaster.
That's why, as a player, you can't read the paper. You can't watch the TV.
Wait a second. I don't believe that. I can see Doug not reading the paper. There's no way you didn't read the paper.
I did not read the paper during the playoffs. Mark.
No.
You can't. There's just too much negative stuff.
All right, someone read it to you then.
I read the internet.
All right, here is Nash. Did the internet exist with it?
No, but there was nothing negative on it at that point.
I see. Mavericks now lead 47-36. I think you were charting TV and radio shows, making notes. Here's Nowitzki. And Diaw tried to save it, could not. Ball back to Dallas.
Jop gets no credit for a rebound, but he may as well have because his long reach forced Diaw. That's tough to say. Diaw forced Diaw to
set pick and rolls. Remember, you can't impede the progress of the screen.
Correct. Not a walk. Just two good strides is all it was.
Educational and somewhat entertaining.
That's why Danny Crawford is considered one of the best officials in the game. You can always talk to him. You heard him say that to Avery Johnson. You can always ask me a question. I just love the way he carries himself out there.
How about that opening tip as Sagata Job was going for the head fakes from Crawford?
Relax, guys, relax.
Stackhouse. Oh, he tried to change it up. He was going to slam it and then right into traffic. So Phoenix in possession, down by 11. 5 minutes to play in the first half. Nash off on a three-point attempt, but the long rebound is kept alive. Here's Nash, fouled by Darrell Armstrong, who just came on.
And we're seeing a little of the philosophy of Avery Johnson. We've seen Jason Terry, we've seen Devin Harris, now we see Darrell Armstrong, all guys trying to make Nash work. If this series is going to go 7, they want him to have tired legs coming in here for Game 7. They're just trying to make him work every time down the floor.
In fact, that was one of the things that Phoenix benefited from is Diaw shoots an air ball. Remember, he had an air ball and a free throw, too, so he's a little off with that stroke. But that Game 4 route allowed the Suns to rest Steve Nash for 15 minutes. He only played 33 minutes. That was critical for Phoenix.
Thomas defending on Nowitzki. Armstrong trying to draw the foul. Here's Nash. Yes.
Well, he was falling backwards really before the contact. That's why Jack Neese did not bite on that. The Suns are trying to claw themselves back and now trailing by 9.
10 points for Nash. Armstrong open for 3. Rebounded by Nash. They leave Jump in the backcourt. Thomas for 3. Yes.
How quickly a lead goes when you play the Suns. I've said it before, you're never out of it when you're behind, and you're never safe with a lead. You've got to play the entire 48 minutes.
For Tim Thomas, his second from downtown. It's a 6-point Dallas advantage. Shot clock to 7. Stackhouse for 3. Good start for Jerry Stackhouse. He has 9 points. Mavs 50, Suns 41. Thomas open for 3 again.
Where's the rotation? They know that they're running that play. Someone's got to rotate up and take Tim Thomas off that jump shot, especially when you hit 2 in a row.
So what they're doing is they're using Nowitzki rather than Jop in that screening role, and Jop is buried underneath the basket, so just not enough bodies on the perimeter for Dallas.
Stackhouse squeezing his ways through. The tip by Jop. Stackhouse flipped it up on a reverse to keep it alive, and then Jop with another bucket. He has 7 points. Marion! And the action is furious here in the final minutes of this first half.
Now Steve Nash is in a much better rhythm now. Once he's gone to the bench and come down, he's finding people now.
22nd timeout called by Avery Johnson. But we'll have to ask Dirk the genesis of that number. Just under 3 minutes to play in this first half. Nice fake by Howard, and then perhaps too much. 3-second violation is called. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, after that 3 for 13 game, you guys were talking about the messages for Dirk to be more aggressive, to take the ball to the basket. One of those was from Holder Gershwinder. That's his coach from the national team since he was 16, a junior national coach. He was very upset. Dirk has so much respect for him that he goes back to Germany every summer to work with him, not only on drills, but also on his overall game.
Although you'd expect a guy 42 straight games with 20 points or more, there's got to be some night. It was obviously you don't want it to happen in the playoffs, but there's going to be an off night from time to time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's been on such a run, and tonight he's right back to where he's been. He's been brilliant.
And Phoenix also had something to do with it. He was played very well by the combination of Marion and Thomas. Here's Van Horn. That's his first field goal.
He needed that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I bet that felt really good for him to finally see the ball go in the basket.
Nash trapped, able to recover the dribble. Thomas changed his mind on a 3. And then Diaw changed his mind. Nash Here's Bell for three. That was not a pretty possession, but Raja Bell was able to preserve it.
And look at all the score. With all the offensive rebounds, second chance points for Dallas, it's a one-possession game.
Van Horn gets inside. Mavericks lead 56-51. The Suns have hit their last 6 shots. That is rejected by Howard.
That's an incredible play from Josh Howard.
Nowitzki, strong to the basket. There's Marion challenging Van Horn.
But you miss a dunk and they lay the ball up with about 3 seconds. I mean, it's amazing. This Suns team is so resilient. I've watched them all year long, and they are not going to go away easy.
And they've got the game at the pace that they like now.
The call against Dallas. Offensive foul.
Well, there is my irritant again.
That's
irritant, Raja Bell.
He was able to draw it on Jerry Stackhouse. That's 2 on Stackhouse. And Nowitzki and Thomas having words. Van Horn ushering Nowitzki aside when they have double technicals being handed out by Dan Crawford. And apparently that is the call.
Well, we saw this 3 times the other night. Watch Jerry Stackhouse. He gets his hand up underneath his arm, and I guess they ruled it was like swimming his arm out of there, so that's a foul. And then the extracurriculars, Tim Thomas and Dirk Nowitzki have a little conversation with one another. Now, you know, a lot of people look at that and they go, well, you know what, that doesn't mean anything. It was just offsetting technical fouls. It means a lot because you get another one and you're out of the game, so you can't get another technical foul.
Double technical on Nowitzki and Thomas.
I thought Thomas blew him a kiss at the end of that. Did you see that? I don't know if you guys saw that. It was like a little smooch at Nowitzki. A little taunt.
Ball is deflected. Out of bounds.
You know, this is very reminiscent of the game we had in here early where the Mavericks were out and leading and the Suns closed hard, and the Suns are in a position here to 2 possessions. They could actually have the lead. Let's see, Steve, if we
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Steve is so observant about those important moments, you know.
All the details, Marv. That's what I'm about.
You know, Steve, look at this here. I mean, offensive rebounds, Mavs, second chance points, plus 14 forced turnovers, only Suns with points in the paint. And you look up there, and they've got a situation here. The Suns, they could score 2 for 1 possession here and actually have the lead at halftime when they have been severely outplayed in my mind.
And Tim Thomas is a big reason. 14 points. He's 5 of 6. Remember, he only made 2 shots the entire game. 4 really wasn't a factor. But I thought his 2 threes really opened up that Dallas defense, forced them to come out, and they've finally broken through against the Mavericks here.
You know, Tim Thomas may be fortunate that he did not get another technical. That could have been a taunting foul on the kiss.
Absolutely, huh?
To get things going. Foul is called on Terry. That's number 3. Both teams are over the foul limit.
Great job, guys. Great job.
So Nash to the line. Coming up on the T-Mobile halftime report, Ernie Charles, Kenny, and Reggie Miller right here in Dallas. They'll take a look back at highlights and break down this first half. Guys are getting ready. It is a 2-point game. Dallas has led by as many as 14.
And a 7-second differential game clock, shot clock. So if the Suns can get a stop here, they can walk in this locker room with the score and the lead.
Phoenix 7 of their last 8 from the field, and after the turnover-filled start during that stretch over the last 6 minutes without a turnover, a 21-9 run to bring Phoenix within a point. Nowitzki, he played well by Thomas and then able to get away for the scoop. Final seconds of the half. There's Nash for 3 to tie it. Slapped around, handled by Van Horn. Nowitzki from center court. But Mike D'Antoni has to be pleased with what took place in the second quarter after.
Can run, we'll set our pace and we'll be okay. Cheryl?
Well, Craig Dale Harris, assistant coach for the Mavs, said the last 6 minutes in the first half, he goes, we had too many breakdowns in our transition defense and our pick and roll coverage. He said our backcourt was reaching way too much. He said the second half offensively really need to concentrate on attacking the basket and stop expecting the officials to make calls, guys.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. What a save by Devin Harris. Here's Josh Howard drawing the foul as Harris lands in the third row behind the Phoenix bench. Come on back, Devin.
Well, Sagana's job keeps this ball alive, and in the great hustle play, Devin Harris going into the crowd. All these possessions will, add up as the game goes on, and then Josh Howard getting to the free throw line. I think it'll be interesting to watch Devin Harris. He had 3 fouls in that first half. Only played a little over 6 minutes. They went with Stackhouse for almost 19 minutes, and if Devin Harris is not going to be aggressive, where that Steve Nash has to guard him, Stackhouse is going to be back out on the court.
Foul called on Diaw. That's his third. Howard knocks down both free throws, and the Mavs lead by 5 points. Thomas looking to post. Ball was slapped away. Suns maintain possession. Nash fires for 3. Rebounded by Bell. Nice pass, and Marion converts.
A rare offensive rebound for Phoenix. You can see Raja Bell, about 6'5", amongst the trees. Not only gets the board, but makes a beautiful pass to Marion.
Avery Johnson going with Harris and Terry at the guards. Nowitzki, Howard, and Jop up front. Howard with a runner. Thomas rebounds. There's Diaw going at Jop. And that was deflected, but still carried through. 11 points for Diaw. The Maverick lead is down to 1 minute and a half gone by in the third. Nowitzki, yes. Dirk Nowitzki with 19 has not shot exceptionally well, just 6 of 14. But what a difference between games 4 and 5 for Nowitzki. Bell met by Jop, who deflected it and then run into foul committed by Howard, and that is his third once again. Let's hear from Craig Sager.
When Devin Harris jumped into the stands, he landed on Christine Grossis. She suffered a cut lip above the teeth. She also was hit by his elbow. They've taken her back. They asked her if she wanted to go to the emergency room. She said, no, I'm a season ticket holder. Get me back out there as soon as you can.
Oh, a very tough season ticket holder. So the ball back to the Mavericks.
You got to play hurt, whether you're a player or a fan. I mean, it's the playoffs.
That's very inspirational, Steve.
Thank you. Or an announcer.
That's true.
If I elbow you tonight, you got to keep going.
Is there an impending elbow here?
There may be.
Here's Harris. Nowitzki. And Terry shoots the 3. Kept alive. Good hustle by the Mavericks.
When you force that kind of shot, you got to come up with a rebound. That's twice now that the Dallas has dug out an offensive rebound, and early here in this third quarter.
Terry.
He's way off.
He is, and that's not a good shot. They had plenty of time on the shot clock.
Nash tripped up, and that's 4 on Howard.
That is a huge foul, because you talked to Steve about halftime about Nowitzki and Howard, their two-man game, and how so important they are to this team. And this is one of those just being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. You're going to see his foot come out there right there and trip Steve Nash.
So Jerry Stackhouse is back, and Josh Howard will sit down. Leaves with 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 fouls. Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. Series tied at 2. Back to Phoenix. Game 6 Saturday night. We'll have it for you right here on TNT. Bell delivers to Marion. Beautiful one-bounce pass from Raja Bell. The Suns are back within a point.
Ball starting to move side to side with Phoenix. You can just see it when they start to hum. That ball starts to move. They get into a groove.
Nowitzki. Good pickup by Thomas with Marion gambling on Nowitzki. Thomas is open for 3. Back comes Stackhouse. But this game from the second quarter on has been played at the pace of the Phoenix Suns. They love this tempo. Nowitzki gets it inside. Harris met by Diaw. Did not want to attempt the shot. Now Harris to the pull-up. Way off. And the Suns with a chance to take the lead. Nash will not count. Will it count? No. Danny Crawford called a travel. The outside official said, yes, the basket counts, but it's a traveling violation.
It looked to me like this was that Boris Diaw Euro 2-step. There's 1, there's 2, so if you don't call it on Diaw, I don't know how you call it on Nash.
And now, apparently they say now offensive foul.
Well, that makes sense there because he didn't walk, so that had to be the offensive foul with the off arm.
Mavericks 62, Suns 61. We are early third quarter. Adrian Griffin will just check back in. Here's Nowitzki. Nash met by Jop. See Jop communicating, directing traffic. Bell for 3. And here comes Terry. Terry off the spin.
Well, he scored, but it was a 1-on-4. I'm not so sure that's what Avery Johnson would like to see.
Nash. Rebounded by Jop. Stackhouse wide open. That was a 3-point attempt. He was hearing it from the entire Phoenix bench.
You know, if the Suns start making their shots, they're going to make a big push here because they're getting anything they want right now. This is their pace, their style, but can they make one?
Well, they've missed 3 straight wide open threes. Here's number 4, and Thomas finally knocks it down. But they have the Mavericks so stretched out right now. Steve, you talked about it. They're penetrating, they're kicking, they're moving the ball, and right now the Mavericks are scrambling.
Tim Thomas with his 4th 3 of the night, and the game is tied at 64. First time this game has been tied since the early moments when it was 9 apiece. Nowitzki draws the foul. Foul on Thomas, his 3rd. So Dirk Nowitzki to the free throw line. You can log on to NBA.com or AOL.com/NBA and click on TNT Overtime Playoffs 06. And this week, on a very special Sager on the Run, Craig breaks down, I'm reading here, breaks down the Italian sandwiches the Suns eat on their charter. This is fascinating territory. Clearly a can't-miss episode of Sager on the Run.
I will be logging on tonight.
Well, how about already Devin Harris is on the bench now, so he's come in with Avery Johnson's come in with Adrian Griffin and Stackhouse. Howard has foul problems, so you can see the confidence right now a little bit shaky, and Devin Harris and Avery Johnson realizing how big this game is has gotten him out.
Marion from Nash. Game is tied.
You can feel it. I mean, they got them stretched out, as you said. They're getting every shot they want. They got the matchups that they like. They're going extremely small right now, which we know D'Antoni loves. And now they've got Marion on Nowitzki. So this game has taken a dramatic shift since that first quarter.
Dallas only 2 of 10 from the field. It's the first time we've agreed it's a good one.
I like that, Steve. You did well tonight.
Thank you. I worked long and hard on that.
Game tied at 66. And the Terry one. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 8 seconds remaining. Jason Terry now 5 of 11. He has 12 points. Thomas Thomas with the step. It counts in the foul. Tim Thomas going left, beat Nowitzki off the dribble, and then was pushed.
Well, see, he's had it going behind the three-point line. Now Nowitzki's got to close. No shot blocking in the game, and he goes right to the front of the rim. So Tim Thomas got off to a slow start in the second quarter. He heated it up with 11 points in that quarter. He now has 19 for the game, so he and Marion a combined 36.
What's that phrase you've used before? Betwixt in between.
There you go.
That's what Dallas is right now, because they can't figure out whether to play drop and have that shot blocker at the rim or go small, because Phoenix, they're going right at this small Dallas lineup.
This is the first lead for the Suns since the opening minutes when they were up 6-4. Stackhouse, wide open shot. Stackhouse 5 of 14. He has 11 points.
Defense.
Shot clock down to 6. Barbosa. So the Suns lead 71-70.
That ball's going side to side, and they're forcing double teams, rotations, and then Barbosa with a beautiful pull-up jump shot.
And you got 5 guys, as Bell's going to get called for the foul. 5 guys who can catch, make a three-pointer, or put it on the floor and get to the rim. I mean, that's the dilemma that you face when you play Phoenix.
Well, again, it goes back to look at the 3 guys who are on the perimeter. These are the 3 guys that Mike D'Antoni likes out there: Barbosa, Nash, and Bell. Bell stretches the defense. You've got 2 penetrators, and you've got Marion and Tim Thomas, 3-point shooters, and guys who can drive it.
Third foul on Bell. Bad pass. Van Horn not able to get to it. And it will be Phoenix in possession. Now Barbosa will put it in play. Bell sits down. James Jones checks in. Devin Harris getting set to return for the Mavericks.
You can see Josh Howard's absence affecting this game right now, because he's the guy normally who would be scrambling and rotating defensively and stopping people.
Here's Thomas for 3. That's his 5th three-pointer. What a performance by Tim Thomas, who's also done a nice job at the defensive end when he's been matched up with Nowitzki. And a blocking foul, says Jack Nice. Foul on Marion.
You said it, Marvin. 8 of 11, 23 points for Thomas, and he's changed this game. Remember the 2 threes he hit in the second quarter? There's that little, is that the Fugazi thing? I can't remember. The little hand swipe? Whatever it is, he loves that.
That goes back a couple of years in the Nick Net playoff series. The Stackhouse comes up short. Thomas got involved with Jason Collins of the Nets.
Yeah. But the 2 threes that he hit in the second quarter finally broke down the Dallas defense, and it seems like Phoenix has had them on the run ever since.
Devin Harris has got to help them here right now. Jason Terry's sitting down. Josh Howard, you talked about his absence. Devin Harris has got to give them some energy and some toughness and make some plays for them.
Here's Thomas again, open for 3. That's 6. That's a playoff career high for Tim Thomas.
Right now, he cannot be the shooter.
They've got to get that pace back. So got to go into dirt, get to the free throw line, try to slow the Suns down.
8-0 run by Phoenix, and away from the ball. The foul was called as Nowitzki took the hit from behind from Marion. That's 4 on Sean Marion. Let's go to Craig.
Well, Tim Thomas has 6 threes tonight, 1 more than he had in his first game as a member of the Phoenix Suns on March 3rd against Orlando. He was signed 2 hours before he put on a uniform, went out and scored 20 points in his first game with Phoenix with 5 threes. So when Mike D'Antoni says he's a good fit for the system, I guess he is.
All right, Craig, yes, Tim has been a major pickup for the Suns, in particular with the injury suffered by Amari Stoudemire and Kurt Thomas. The guy who's been with Philadelphia, Milwaukee, the Knicks, the Bulls, had his best years with the Bucks in that playoff stretch where he was playing for a new contract. There have not necessarily been happy conclusions for Tim, several of his departures.
Well, and when Jerry Reinsdorf let him out of his contract, he made him say he was going west. He was not going to sign with any team in the Eastern Conference that the Bulls might have had to play in the playoffs.
Thomas to the pull-up. Rebounded by Griffin. Dallas down by 5, just under 3 left in the third. Here's Harris. Yes, and the foul. Strong move by the second-year player out of Wisconsin, Devin Harris. Foul on Diaw, that's number 4.
You cannot close out on him right now. You've got to make him a jump shooter. And you think that the fans don't realize that Avery Johnson and his teammates, how important it is. Devin Harris had not scored. Adrian Griffin does not have a basket. They were playing 2 guys right now through this stretch, and neither one of them had scored.
Josh Howard sitting down after picking up his 4th foul. Phoenix up by 2. Shot clock to 5. Nash behind the back, fires up a fadeaway. Harris with the rebound. Now Harris resets. Nowitzki. Yes, the game is tied.
What a tough shot. It looked like he was going to shoot it, then pass it, and then he finally shot it. But it all started when he got to the free throw line out of the timeout.
7-0 run by the Mavericks since that timeout was taken. Here's Diaw. Missed the tip. And Dallas with a chance to reclaim the lead. Griffin backing Barbosa. Nowitzki for 3. Yes. Dallas 80, Phoenix 77. 10 unanswered by the Mavericks. Barbosa, what a move, and gives it up. What a play by Barbosa. The assist on the bucket by Jones.
See, most coaches would call a timeout on a 10-0 run, but Mike D'Antoni wants to keep the game to keep going like this. The faster, the better.
Dallas by 1. Harris stopped by Thomas. Shot clock to 4. Nowitzki over Jones with a rainbow. Here comes Nash. 4 on 2. Thomas, Diaw. That's 13 for Diaw, and the Suns back up by a point.
What a game. Well, I mean, this is just incredible.
It's like being in an amusement park, being on a roller coaster right now.
6-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock as this third quarter winds down. Stackhouse with the clear lane, and back comes Phoenix. Barbosa turns Nowitzki around, and that was met on a switch. We're final seconds of the third quarter. Look out, Jones did not see the pass. 3 seconds, down to 2, down to 1. Time runs out in the third. All right, thank you, Craig, as this fourth quarter gets underway. Mavericks 82, the Suns 81. Game 5 of the Western Conference Final. Nowitzki gets it down low. Griffin brings to the corner. Shot clock is to 5. Here's Griffin getting inside. Adrian Griffin back in Game 4. Very effective posting up. Time it did not drop. Roger Bell is back on the floor. And Marion and Griffin come together. Ken Maurer gets between them. Foul on Griffin, that's his second, and obviously Sean Marion did not appreciate the physical contact.
Oh, Phoenix trying to run that little screen and roll action between Marion and Diaw. That's where Marion usually gets a dunk, but Griffin doesn't allow him to set the screen. We heard Avery Johnson talking to the official about impeding progress on a screen. You can't do that. That's an automatic foul.
Josh Howard back on the floor playing with the 4 fouls. Steve Nash getting a rest. So Barbosa and Bell now in the backcourt for the Suns. Shot clock at 1. Barbosa. Wow. Suns now lead 83-82. That's 10 points for Leandro Barbosa. Minute gone by here in the fourth. Marv Albert, Doug Collins, Steve Kerr. Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller working the sidelines. Howard shoots the three. Josh Howard providing the Mavericks with an 85-83 lead. That's his second three of the game. And that's an offensive foul. Jones called on the foul.
That's where James Jones gets himself in trouble. They want him to move the ball in those situations. He tried to put it on the floor, but as we look back on this game, if Dallas is able to win, and there's the charge by James Jones, they were able to weather Josh Howard being on the bench with those fouls when they had that 10-0 run to get themselves right back in it when they had gotten down 7.
It's only the third turnover for the Suns the last 26 minutes. Nowitzki with room. Yes. Nowitzki turning it up a notch these past few moments. Mavericks lead by 4. Barbosa with a runner. Jump rebound. And the foul on Barbosa.
So much for the rest for Steve Nash. He knew it wouldn't last long, but with Dallas now creeping out to that 4-point lead and the Suns struggling a bit here early in the quarter, Nash will come right back.
And Steve Nash, such a popular player as a member of the Dallas Mavericks. Heard some boos from the crowd as he re-enters. Nash comes up with a steal. Here's Marion with Terry back. And that will count. The foul is called. Sean Marion with the bucket, the foul on Jason Terry.
It's like throwing a pass to Randy Moss. You know, you're a quarterback. You see you got one-on-one coverage with Sean Marion. Just throw it up. I mean, Nash plays the role of, I don't know, who's the quarterback for the Raiders now? Kerry Collins? Just throw it up. Moss will catch it. He'll make the touchdown for you.
Well, how about this? So, you bring Steve Nash right back into the game. He gets a 3-point play for you. Josh Howard came right back into the game, hit a 3-point shot, and made the coaches look very smart getting them back on the floor.
Assist number 11 for Nash, who's led the NBA in assists the past 2 seasons. Here's Howard, got the step. And you can see that Roger Bell is struggling.
And they talked about they didn't take advantage of him the other night. They wanted to drive the ball more against him. They did at that time, but Steve Nash misses the little jump shot.
But Bell defensively not able to recover on a couple of occasions. Dallas by 3. We're early in the 4th. Howard with the catch and shoot. And Marion able to get to it. Here's Barbosa flying down court, met by Nowitzki, who commits the foul. That's his second. Barbosa will shoot 2.
I think Avery Johnson wanted a push-off. We saw that earlier off-arm offensive foul called on one of the Maverick players. He thought Barbosa might have gotten away with that.
Barbosa 2 of 2 at the line.
No, here's the play we're talking about. Did he get him with the left arm? Not really. He leans in, creates the contact from Nowitzki. That's a smart play from Barbosa.
And the Mavericks are sure hoping that the Josh Howard rule stays in effect tonight. When he gets 20, they're 23-0 undefeated. Well, he just got 20 points, so they sure do not want that streak broken tonight.
And for what that is worth, it includes regular season and playoffs.
For what it's worth, I mean, are you questioning it now? It's 23-0.
I don't believe in those things. I really don't. As Howard is pushed, I think it's an indication. Oh, a technical foul has just been called. And Ken Maurer, who indicated the T separating the players.
Oh, apparently the irritant, Roger Bell, irritated the official.
Yes.
Antone very upset for the technical foul called on Roger Bell for pushing off after the personal. He said at the other end, Adrian Griffin did the exact same thing to Sean Marion and nothing was called whatsoever. He's also upset because he has told the officials that on several occasions throughout this series and a couple of times tonight that Josh Howard has stuck his foot out to slow down the fast break of the Phoenix Suns and tripped a couple of players, whether it was on purpose or not. Marv.
All right, Craig, it's now a 3-point Dallas lead.
This could be a big possession. Possible 4 or 5 point play here. If you're the Phoenix Suns, you do not want to be giving easy points away at the basket now.
Mike D'Antoni was just requested to move back in the direction of his bench. Nowitzki now guarded by Thomas. Shot clock to 5. Nowitzki, yes. He's hitting big shots in the second half. He went through a brief drought period, now 34 points for Dirk Nowitzki.
And he's been to the line 12 times, so he's really shown that strength and aggressiveness that Dallas needs.
Barbosa for the Suns to cut it to a 3-point Dallas lead. Game 6 back in Phoenix on Saturday night and here on TNT. Game 7, if necessary, here in Dallas on Monday night. Terry. And back comes Nash. Barbosa using the pick from Diaw. Goes to the runner. Nowitzki rebound.
Normally, I would say that's probably not a good shot, but everything's a good shot for Phoenix. Mike D'Antoni wants everybody to look for an opening all the time.
Nowitzki for 3. 37 points for Dirk Nowitzki. Nash for 3.
This is unbelievable.
Nash has 15 points, 11 assists.
Now this is a big game, right? Because this is an important game, right?
Yes.
These guys are shooting like it's playing horse.
Dallas up by 3. And much time remaining. Just over 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Nowitzki had it slapped away on a strip, but a foul. Out on the Suns, their 13th foul. It's on Thomas. 4 on Tim Thomas. Let's go to Cheryl.
Well, Marv, the Mavs owner, Mark Cuban, just told me that he plans on sending in this clip to the league office. He feels that Sean Marion, if we can see this play coming up right there, intentionally threw an elbow at Adrian Griffin. So we'll see how that plays out tomorrow, Marv.
All right, I think there have been many videotapes sent with the Dallas postmark to the league office.
Entire motion pictures.
Yes.
From Mark Cuban. That's a standard procedure around the league, as you know, Doug. Everybody sends in their clips and their videos. They want certain things called, but I can't imagine that would warrant any type of response from the league. That's just a normal little altercation between two guys going at it.
Well, you talked about Dirk in the open, Steve, and he's been magnificent. 14 free throw attempts. You said he needed to get there 20 times tonight. It looks like he might do that.
Nash comes up short. Nowitzki has scored the last 9 points for the Mavericks.
Just 4 for 14 for Steve Nash tonight.
Terry trying to set things up for Nowitzki. Now Nowitzki off the dribble. Using his length to take it to the basket. The steal by Jock. Here comes Terry, and is tripped up by Barbosa.
Kind of in this kind of pressure situation, and look at the numbers tonight. He and Josh Howard have been the answers. Obviously, the rest of the team has struggled. 17 of 42 for 30. They have 61 points on 20 of 36 field goals.
Here's Howard for 3, way off, and handled by Marion. Keep in mind, Nowitzki made the turn from a 3 of 13 shooting performance in Game 4 in Phoenix. Job switching off to Nash. Barbosa, and he is off the mark. Nowitzki gets to it. He's fouled, tripped up by Nash. It puts Phoenix in the penalty.
Well, now you start getting to the free throw line early in the quarter, so that means every time Nowitzki squares up and tries to go to the basket, he could shoot 20-plus free throws before this night is over, and this is what Steve had talked about in his open, the importance of him getting to that foul line.
He is 13 of 14 at the line here this evening, and Dirk has scored 23 of the last 30 points for Dallas.
Well, he's shown why he's a different player now than he was last season. He's always been a terrific player, but now he's a dominant one. I mean, he's no longer just a guy who's going to get hot from the three-point line. He can beat you in a lot of different ways, and he's willed his team to this lead right now.
He came into the league, I recall, Dirk, as a rookie. He was a skinny 7-footer just taking jump shots from all angles, but he has added to his game in so many ways. Foul away from the ball. It is on Howard. That's number 5.
Now, will Avery Johnson get him out here and maybe try to get him to the 3-minute mark? It looks so like Adrian Griffin will be in. So the luxury of having a 9-point lead now, you can come in with Adrian Griffin and maybe buy a couple minutes and bring him back at the 3-minute mark or so.
And the foul by Howard, the 4th team foul on the Mavericks. 5.5 remaining in the 4th. Here's Nash. Dial, net on a switch. Shot clock to 4. Nash to the scoop. Nowitzki rebound. Dallas is taking command here in the 4th quarter. Now using the clock in no hurry. Got clock to 5. Nowitzki with a nice fake. And he'll go to the line. The foul charge to Marion. That's number 5 on Sean Marion.
Well, I love what Dirk is doing now. He's in one of those moments where he knows he can do no wrong, and he wants the ball, and he's really taking his time. A lot of times you get excited, and you try to go too quickly. He has not done that, using all kinds of shot fakes. He's throwing his body in there, and he's getting fouled. Now they go to the line, they make free throws, and now you get your defense back. Phoenix does not want to foul.
He scored the last 14 points for the Mavs. National television coverage of the NBA playoffs continues this week. Tomorrow on ESPN, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Pistons and the Heat. Coverage starting 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be with you from Phoenix Saturday night right here on TNT. Game 6 between the Mavericks and the Suns. Coverage starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Time as Nash is able to hit. So it's a 9-point Dallas lead. Sunday on ABC if necessary. Game 7 between Miami and Detroit starting at 8 o'clock in the East. Stackhouse. Nice fake on Allen. 15 for Stackhouse. Barbosa streaking by Nowitzki. Rebounded by Griffin.
And Jock once again back there, making him change that shot and take it all the way to the other side of the rim, try to get a circus shot off the glass.
10-2 run for Dallas. Stackhouse. Basket will not count. Foul before the shot, but Phoenix in the penalty.
I'll think back to the end of the 3rd quarter. It was 77-70. Phoenix had a 7-point lead with about 2 minutes to go. And Josh Howard's on the bench with 4. Avery Johnson resisted the urge to put him in. And Dallas went on a 10-0 run after a timeout without Howard. I thought that was a key sequence in the game because then the 4th quarter starts. You've got the lead. You've got control of the game. And you can get your best lineup back out onto the floor.
Avery Johnson, NBA's Coach of the Year. You see his team settle down after Phoenix had jumped in front by 7.
And you see this substitution. Josh Howard's coming in for Job because now they have Marion and Tim Thomas on the front line, so they do not want Job to have to guard one of those guys, so they come in with a smaller, quicker player.
Dallas up by 12. And as Nash makes his move, a foul and a technical late hit on Jason Terry. And Ken Mauer did not like the contact after the whistle. The personal foul on Terry, number 5, and then a technical.
Well, this is called because it's the exact same thing that happened with Raja Bell. After the whistle, a swipe at the ball or at the leg.
Yes.
And
upper leg,
inner leg, and Ken Mauer on the call for both of them.
So Nash hits the technical.
And keep in mind, remember game one? What was it, a 9-point game with about,
343?
Yeah.
And Nash took over. Remember, he went on that 10-0 run. They outscored him 16-4 to steal game one. So you're looking up at their 4-minute mark. If Steve Nash makes his free throw there, it's about basically where they were then, but they have 17 more seconds. The question is going to be, with Dirk playing this well and then being in the penalty, are they going to be able to stop the Mavericks?
Both teams are now over the foul limit. Nash 8 for 8 at the line, led the NBA 92% during the season. So it's back to a 9-point Dallas lead.
Devin Harris in the ballgame. Watch for Eddie House to double team on Stackhouse or Nowitzki or anybody who's isolated. They're going to let Harris shoot the ball.
Arian is playing with 5 fouls. Good hands by Nash. Recovered by Griffin. Shot clock to 3. Harris. The tip by Nowitzki. 47 points. That's a career playoff high for Dirk Nowitzki. Here's Nash, got the step, nowhere to go. And it's grabbed by Nowitzki.
How good has Dirk Nowitzki been tonight? Every big play, shots, rebounds, tip-ins, dominated this game, got off to a great start, a little bit of a slow middle, and then he has been terrific.
We are all witnesses. I mean, this is one of the great performances in NBA playoff history.
All right, here's Howard. It counts. And the foul.
Well, these two guys have combined for 69 points tonight. Josh Howard has 22, going for 23. The little floater, Dirk has 47. They're 22 of 39 from the floor. They have a combined 17 rebounds. And you go back to when they have been great, the Suns have had no answer. And when those two have struggled, the Suns have won both games.
As we mentioned, a playoff career high for Dirk Nowitzki. It is all Dallas. Since Phoenix led by 7, it was 77-70. Dallas has outscored the Suns 43-21. As we come up on 2.5 to play in the fourth. Stackhouse. Saved by House. Here's House for 3. Well, this series headed back to Phoenix for Game 6 Saturday night, right here on TNT. And the season will be on the line for the Phoenix Suns. Nowitzki. The save by Harris. What a play by Devin Harris. As he went flying along the baseline. Timeout called by Phoenix.
Clipper series, but Phoenix won that one as well. This would be the first time that Phoenix is on the losing end of an opponent's 40-point game.
Just under 2 to play in the fourth. Nowitzki for 3. Yes! Make it 50 points for Dirk Nowitzki.
It's been some kind of show.
Thomas had it slapped away by Nowitzki. Terry ahead of the field. The Dallas Mavericks will be 1 game away from making it to the NBA Finals at the final buzzer here tonight. On the other side of the ledger, the Phoenix Suns will have a shot to tie the series back in Phoenix on Saturday night.
Marv, only 2 turnovers in the second half for the
Mavericks the last 6 minutes and 8 seconds. And now we're hearing the chant of MVP. Terry on the recovery. And a travel is called.
Well, now Mike D'Antoni's got to get his team gathered back to Phoenix. Hope that they can find a way to make it 3-3. And remember now, they've already been in 2 Game 7s. And in both of those games, they shot over 60% and won big. So he's got to just now get his team to thinking, we've got to find a way to get it back here for Game 7 and take our chances.
Back for the Suns, this is their 101st game of the season. That's the most of any team in the NBA. The 2-7 game playoff series contributing to that number. And this is going to Game 6 on Saturday night. Down to 45 seconds. Here's Diaw. And it's a traveling violation.
He's been out of sync tonight. He's run away from some jump shots. He's tried to over-penetrate. I think starting Jacques tonight had him thinking a little bit. He's not had his normal game. 5 of 13 tonight.
Rookie out of North Carolina State, Josh Powell has come on. This is Powell trying to power that up. Rebounded by Van Horn. Down to 20 seconds. Phoenix without a field goal the last 4 minutes. 10-0 run by the Mavericks. So Diaw shoots from downtown.
Well, maybe he'll feel a little better about his jump shot in Game 6, but far too little and way too late.
Devin Harris dribbles it out. Standing ovation for the Mavericks as they take a 3-2 lead in this Western Conference Final Series.